All right, good evening and welcome to the Georgia Association of Black Women Attorneys and the GABWA Foundation's 2015 Glitter Gala and Auction. I am Mo Ivory and it is my honor to serve as your mistress of ceremonies for the evening. Our theme for this year's gala and auction is, as you can see, the Roaring 20s. And I ask that you join me as we take this journey to the 1920s and discover just what makes this time period very magical. Now, the 1920s were an age of dramatic social and political change. For the first time, more Americans lived in cities than on farms. The nation's total wealth more than doubled between 1920 and 1929. And this growth in America, this economic growth, swept many Americans into an affluent but unfamiliar consumer society. People from coast to coast bought the same goods thanks to nationwide advertising and the spread of chain stores, listened to the same music, did the same dances, and even used the same slang. The 1920s is well known, of course, for jazz music, similar to the music you heard as you entered the gala tonight. Naturally, with this new jazz culture came many popular dances such as the Charleston, the cakewalk, the black bottom, and the flea hop. Jazz, of course, in the 1920s were accented by prohibition. However, many people were not willing to accept this new law, we know that, and so the speakeasy was born. Tonight, you're gonna join us as we travel back in time and we kick up our heels to take part in the Roaring 20s. Now, like many of you, I too am an attorney, and I practiced for a number of years before I transitioned my career into the media. So this evening, of course, feels like for me, coming home. And what better way to return home than a celebration like the one that we are about to experience tonight. This evening, I stand before you inspired by the history of this great organization. And together with other individuals on tonight's program, we seek to inform those of you who may not be familiar with GABWA's mission so that when you leave here tonight, you are ignited with a passion to live out all of which GABWA stands for. Our honorees who will stand before you tonight are receiving Founders Awards are certainly a testament to the vision of GABWA's founders and founding members had when they conceived this organization more than 30 years ago. Tonight, as we enjoy the Roaring 20s, let us not forget the purpose, though, and that purpose, of course, we know is to raise money for the GABWA Foundation. The GABWA Foundation is a 501c3 organization which is home to GABWA's charitable endeavors, such as, and I hope everybody knows about these important programs, the Sister to Sister Mentoring Program, the Scholarship Program, and the Wills Project. These are worthy and important programs, so please remember that tonight we need you to bid generously at the silent auction, so all the proceeds will go to support the foundation and its programs. The silent auction, of course, as you saw coming in, is right outside the doors. You can browse it up until 8 o'clock. That's when the silent auction will close. At this time, GABWA's president, Ajwa Garte Tego Seymour, and I had my pronunciation sheet right here, to make sure I did not mess up your name. Because I don't want you to have to do what I had to do, which was shorten my name completely to Mo, which is not my born name. And the GABWA Foundation President, E. Jewel Johnson, will bring you greetings and the occasion. So everybody, please welcome the ladies to the stage.
Thank you. Good evening. It is my honor and pleasure to serve as the 34th president of this great organization, the Georgia Association of Black Women Attorneys. So, welcome to our annual Glitter Gala and Auction. We have been excited to put this theme together for you regarding the Roaring 20s. For those of you all who don't know GABWA, our mission is to nurture, support, and galvanize the power of Black women attorneys, to advocate for communities. And for over 3 decades, we have been passionate in that endeavor, purposeful in pursuit of our mission, and we have led with power. This year's theme is growing stronger in our passion, our purpose, our power. Because when I think about a GABWA member, woman or man, as we are 800 strong and have a diverse background and cultures and beliefs, but all who work in pursuit of GABWA's mission, every GABWA member embodies that spirit, passionate, purposeful, and powerful. And this theme, the Roaring Twenties, embodies those characteristics. It was a time of technological and cultural and social advancement, especially for the African American. The Roaring Twenties coincided with the Jazz Age, Harlem Renaissance, and even the Lost Generation, and its impact was keenly felt on an individual and collective level within the African American community, as well as on America's robust cultural industries, music, film, and theater, all of which fully benefited from the creativity and newly discovered contributions of African Americans. And tonight, we celebrate the creativity and significant contributions of 5 phenomenal women and one great organization that have left their mark on the legal, charitable, and business landscape of our communities. The Honorable Myra Dixon, the incomparable Betty Ann Hart, the remarkable Tamika Daniel, the dedicated Dr. Helene Gale, the spirited Janice Mathis, and the exceptional organization that is the Atlanta Business League. So before we really get started, I have to take a moment of presidential privilege as I stand on this stage and just acknowledge a few people who are here tonight who are in support of me and also this organization. First, my colleagues from Bryan Cave. I always say that I work with brilliant, unpretentious people, and I am honored to work in that organization for over 9 years, and now as a partner with that organization. So I thank my colleagues tonight for being here. I also want to thank our Amanda Ray Williams, my wonderful assistant who I think everybody on the board has come to know, who has helped us with all of our board meetings and also putting together tonight's program. So thank you, Amanda, for your support, your friendship. I cannot thank you enough. And my parents, who I think stole the show at the installation, Dr. Nana Benye Gartitego and Abena Gartitego. Mommy and Daddy, thank you so much for everything you've done, for your continued support. My children, Abba and Xavier. So if you see a little 6-year-old running around, we couldn't find a babysitter. So it's a wonderful presidential privilege. He is here tonight. So please entertain him. He'll be part of the entertainment if you see him running. And I hear that I have a twin, although we don't think we look alike, but you may see someone who looks like me in the back door, and that's my daughter, Abba. And I thank them for their support, for the many times that I come home late and leave so early that I don't get a chance to see them wake up or go to sleep. But I just thank them for knowing that Mommy is doing the great work of a lawyer and for their understanding. And then my wonderful, darling husband for his support and for being there for the kids, for me. Thank you, honey. You are... I am so eternally grateful to have you as the number 2 man in my life, second only to our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. So thank you, honey. Thank you. And lastly, to my GABWA family, from my students, to my past presidents, to my founders, thank you so much for trusting me to lead this organization in service. And with that, as we celebrate tonight, I yield the floor to our very own foundation president. Where is she? The also incomparable Miss E. Jewel Johnson.
Thank you, Ajwa. Good evening. You all look marvelous. In addition to honoring our Founders Award recipients, we come together tonight to support the important work of the GABWA Foundation. Founded in 1983, the GABWA Foundation, as Ms. Ivory indicated earlier, is a 501c3 that houses GABWA's charitable organizations. I've had the pleasure and the privilege of serving both GABWA and the Foundation for the last 15 years, and it is truly a labor of love, because I believe that the GABWA Foundation truly embodies the heart of GABWA and its mission to strengthen our communities and to advocate for women and children. It is just a manifestation of that mission. Our Silver Pro Bono Wills Project began in 2007, and through that project, we provide wills to the elderly, to people suffering from terminal illnesses, all throughout metropolitan Atlanta. This year, we've expanded the program considerably, more than doubling our client base, so we're very excited, and we plan on taking the Wills Project on the road to locations outside of metropolitan Atlanta so that we hit the entire state of Georgia, because we truly are a state-based organization, and we want to make sure that everyone has access to equal legal services. In addition, we've also expanded our sister-to-sister program. We are so proud of our young ladies. Over the past 15 years, we have served over 1,000 young women through our partnership. Yes. Through our partnership with the Fulton County Juvenile Court System, and this year we expanded Sister to Sister to DeKalb County. So we're growing there as well. Thank you. This evening we have the pleasure of having 6 of our mentees join us for the gala, and I would like to have them stand up in the back to welcome them. GABWA, through the foundation, also provides scholarships. Since 1983, we've awarded hundreds of thousands of dollars of scholarships. Since 2002 alone, we've awarded almost $350,000 of scholarships to Black women. Amen. Scholarships are awarded to Black women attending Georgia law schools, and many of them have gone on to become leaders, community leaders, leaders in GABWA. Our own president, Ms. Seymour, is a GABWA scholarship recipient. Our past president, Tracy Benzo, is a GABWA scholarship recipient. Ms. Benzo just started her own law firm, and Ms. Seymour became partner at her law firm effective this year. We are incredibly proud of our scholarship recipients, as well as our mentees, and just the investment that we are making. They truly show that the investment that we make in our young ladies pays dividends, and we really, really need your support to continue those efforts. And so we thank you for being here this evening. We thank you for participating in the auction. Shop often, go check your bids. We also thank you for your sponsorship. So I hope that you enjoy the evening. And just on behalf of the foundation, one more thing, actually. I would like to ask all of our foundation board to stand, please, and be recognized. Thank you. And if there are any other past scholarship recipients, if you could please stand. There are envelopes on your table, so if you feel moved and so inclined, I ask that you reach generously into those pockets and purses, as fabulous as they are, and help us to support and continue these programs go as we continue to change lives all throughout the state. Thank you.
Okay. So I love coming. Everybody looks so gorgeous. I wanted to say that I have seen so many pretty dresses in here tonight. So ladies and gentlemen, please give all the ladies for their dresses a round of applause. Absolutely. So I haven't practiced in a really long time. I'm on a radio show and I do a lot of television work, but I love coming to events like this and running into, I've seen a lot of my friends, my sorors here. But it's really refreshing when I run into so many female attorneys, because even though I haven't practiced in probably 10 years, it's at least twice a day that I get a call or an email or just straight walk up on the street like this. Hey Mo, I was just wondering, my cousin Ray Ray is experiencing a little problem with his child support, and we were wondering if once you finish on CNN, if you might be able to just take care of that for us. So normally I know I'm not going to be able to do that, but I do have a card of somebody who can. So all the ladies in here, please make sure to give me your cards tonight, because I have that happen to me. I am not lying, at least twice a day, every day. So I'm glad to be here amongst all my fellow female attorneys. So we're going to continue. We're now going to have the invocation given by Reverend Sonia Natasha Brown, who is the 2009 GABWA past president. Following the invocation, dinner will be served. So everybody, please welcome Reverend Brown to the stage.
Good evening, GABWA. You all look so beautiful from up here, and I want to just echo the sentiments of our past president and foundation president, Jewel Johnson, and our current president, Ajwa Seymour. Dig deep, dig often, and let's reward and award the amazing female law students here in Georgia that go on to do some really wonderful, amazing things. Can you guys do that for me tonight? Amen. Let us pray. O most gracious and wonderful Father, we come to you on this night with humbled hearts and open minds, ready to receive all that it is that you have for us. We come as simple servants who come wanting to do the good that you have called us to do. We come knowing that we are members of a wonderful organization, the Georgia Association of Black Women Attorneys, made up of some of the most wonderful legal minds who have helped to shape the legal landscape here in Georgia. We have overcome racial and gender barriers, and we have used our influence for the greater good of our society. We come standing on the shoulders of legal trailblazers who have reshaped the legal scene as they have pursued liberty and justice for all. We come to speak their names and ask that as we honor them, that you will bestow goodness on their lives, that you will allow abundance to flow in their lives as they do all that you have called them to do. They are champions of civil rights and social justice. And they are the ones who go before doing the ministry that has been set forth. We come tonight celebrating as an ebony-hued lawyer serves as our nation's first lady. But we celebrate against the backdrop of tragedy, as so many of our young men and women are losing their lives senselessly in the streets. So as we come, we ask that you give us the power to stand against injustice everywhere, to help us to continue to be the seekers of truth, to be advocates for justice, and to help us to be the voice for those who are voiceless. You called us to do great and wonderful things, and in sowing the seeds in us, we will allow them to be planted and to be nourished, so that when it is all said and done, and we have all run the good race for which we have been called to run, we will hear you say to us, "Well done, thy good and faithful servant." So as we prepare tonight to come to celebrate one another and the amazing women who will be honored here tonight, we will always keep in the forefront of our minds that without you, we are nothing, and we owe you all that we have. And so as we prepare tonight to go forward, and as we prepare to eat the food that has been prepared for us, We ask that not only will it nourish and strengthen our bodies here this evening, but it will nourish and strengthen us so that we can run the good race and finish as good and faithful servants to the one who sits high and looks low. With giving respect to every religion represented here tonight, it is in the mighty, matchless name of your Son, Jesus Christ, that we offer this humble prayer. And all of God's children said, amen, amen, and amen.
It is my pleasure now to introduce the chair of tonight's gala, Montoya McGee Ho-Sang and Tanisha Stewart. Please welcome them as they join me on stage to bring greetings to the event. Everybody, put your hands together.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate you all supporting our cause, and everyone, again, looks lovely. I do want to share a special announcement with everyone. Regarding the Roaring Twenties, we know that there was a speakeasy and prohibition going on. So if you are very observant, in your program you will find a special speakeasy password that if you tell the bartender during our speakeasy lounge, you might get a little something special. I won't say what it is, but the bartender knows. So, and it is limited, just like in Prohibition. But make sure you are very observant in your program. I will begin by asking all of the GABWA founders, founding members, and past presidents to please stand at this time and be recognized. Thank you. It is because of these exceptional women and their leadership that GABWA is able to do the work that we do today. Thank you. Next, I would like to ask the GABWA Executive Board and Leadership Team and the Board of Directors of the GABWA Foundation to stand and be recognized at this time. Thank you for all of your hard work and dedication. You may be seated. I would now like to acknowledge all members of the judiciary who are here with us tonight. If you would please stand so that our audience will have the opportunity to see each of you. Thank you. You may be seated. At this time, I would like to recognize the elected officials that are here with us tonight. Please stand for just a moment so that the audience may see you. Thank you. You may be seated. I would also like to recognize the leaders of our State Bar President Robert Bob Kaufman, and all other members of either the Executive Board or the Board of Governors. Please stand. Thank you. You may be seated. I would also like to recognize the presidents and officers of the various bar associations. Please stand so that you may also be recognized. We thank you for your continued support of GABWA and know that you have ours. You may be seated. Finally, if there are any candidates for political or judicial office here with us tonight, I ask that you also stand at this time. Okay. Just in case, we'd like to recognize everybody. Everyone, please join me in welcoming all of our distinguished guests for the evening.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Montoya McGee Ho-Sang, and I'm pleased to recognize our sponsors for the evening. Each of the sponsoring firms, businesses, and organizations has given their generous financial support to tonight's event. By doing so, they have demonstrated their commitment to furthering the work of GABWA and the GABWA Foundation in the community. At the benevolent benefactor level, we thank Brian Cave, Arnold, Golden, and Gregory, the Georgia chapter of the Association of Corporate Counsel, and Pope McGlamory. At the dedicated donors level, we thank Keegan Spalding, Stewart, Shea, and Felton, Sutherland, Asbill, and Brennan, the Mabra Law Firm, the Hatchett Law Firm, Edmund, Lindsay, and Hoffler, and Seyfarth Shaw. As caring contributors, we are thankful to have Denton's LLP, formerly known as McKenna Long, Jones Day, Austin and Bird, Schiff Harden, Kilpatrick, Townsend, and Stockton, Morgan and Morgan, Smith, Gambrell, and Russell, and Troutman Sanders. As Friends of GABWA, we thank Georgia Trial Lawyers Association, Baker Donaldson, Baker Hotstetler, Morris, Manning, and Martin, Atlanta Jean Marshall Law School, AT&T Legal Department, the Chestnut Firm, Fisher and Phillips, UGA Law School, Taylor, English, and Duma, and the Woodhouse Law Firm. As you can see, we were so privileged to have so many sponsors, but I'm not done yet. We have a number of GABWA members, business persons, and firms who signed on to be table sponsors or to serve on our host committee. If our table sponsors and host committee members will please stand and be recognized at this time. Thank you. You all may be seated.
We wish to thank each and every one of our sponsors. It is because of each of you that tonight is such a success. Please join us again in thanking all of the 2015 Glitter Gala and Auction sponsors.
Thank you, ladies. Did you check that nod Montoya gave me when she saw it was time for me to come up? I was like, yeah, we're sisters here working together. All right, everybody, thank you, ladies, and a huge thank you to all this evening's sponsors and our special guests who are here for the evening. I want to remind everybody that we have extended the time for the silent auction. It will go on until 8:30 instead of 8 o'clock, so you still have time, plenty of time to go out, sign up, and remember that this is a fundraiser, so we definitely want you to go out to the silent auction. So as you begin your dinner, I'd like to welcome Auction Committee Chair Cherry Shelton to share with you a few words about this evening's silent auction.
Good evening. On behalf of the 2015 Auction Committee, I want to thank you all for joining us for an evening of splendor and social impact. I hope by now that you've had a chance to peruse and bid on some of our wonderful auction items, including restaurant gift certificates, exotic travel vacations, fitness and beauty packages. Everything you want is out there. So I encourage you to bid early and bid often. that's bid high. Bid high, that's the key word, bid high and often. As you know, proceeds from this year's silent auction benefit the GABWA Foundation's numerous programs and initiatives. So again, I encourage you to bid high and to bid often. I would like to remind you that the silent auction will close promptly at 8:30. Be certain to keep an eye on those items you have bid on.
Ladies and gentlemen, if we could just have your attention at the microphone so that she can really share this information with you that is important and important for the foundation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mo. So again, the silent auction will close promptly at 8:30. Let's keep in mind that we are here this evening to raise funds for the GABWA Foundation. I want you all to, if you have bid on something or you haven't, just remember that during the dinner, that's the time to go out there and bid high and bid often. Thank you, and we hope that you enjoy this year's Glitter Gala and auction.
Thank you, Cherry. So again, the auction will stay open until 8:30. You have an opportunity to go out and bid, and we'll take some time now for everybody to enjoy dinner. And thank you, and we'll be back soon with the award presentation. I hope everybody is enjoying your dinner, and we are gonna continue with our Founders Day Awards presentation. I just wanna give a couple of shout outs. I was walking around the room and ran into so many friends in the room. And so first I wanna, as Sam is taking a picture right now, but I wanna give a shout out to all the King and Spalding alums in the room. And that was nice to run into Sam, hello. And also want to say hello to all my Spelman College sisters who are here. Ran into many, yes? Yes, yes, yes. And then I love the diversity of GABWA because I was walking over there and I ran into my Latina sisters over here at this table who are Dominican, just like I am. And we had a chance to chat, and so I was very happy to see them. Yes, ladies. So let's keep on going with the program. At this time, we will have the presentation of the 2015 Founders Awards. At your leisure, I encourage you to read the biographies of the award recipients that are printed in your souvenir program. And in what has become a GABWA tradition, each award recipient will be featured in a brief video bio tonight, so you will have the opportunity to see, and I know, y'all are so rowdy tonight. It's the bar. Shut the bar down. No, shut it down over there for a minute. This is the awards presentation. All right, over there too. Look at that bar over there has a line. Drunk lawyers. Okay, we're gonna keep going. Okay. So you'll have the opportunity to see and hear about their many accomplishments and their respective commitments to their community, family, and their profession. Tonight, it's noisy on the left. Okay, great. Sound like I'm talking to my 17-year-old. Tonight, GABWA will present 6 distinguished individuals with its Founders Awards: the Zenith Award for Distinction in the Profession, the Zenith Award for Service to the Community, and the Zenith Award for Political Action. GABWA's Founders Awards are named after GABWA's 3 founders, each of whom blazed a trail on Georgia's legal landscape. Former Justice Leah Ward Sears served as the first president of the Georgia Association of Black Women Attorneys. Justice Sears was the first African-American woman to serve as a Superior Court judge in the state of Georgia. In 2005, Justice Sears became the first Black woman to serve as Chief Justice of the Georgia Supreme Court. Justice Sears is presently a partner at Schiff Hardin. Judge Bensonetta Tipton Lane currently serves on the Superior Court of Fulton County, a position she has held since 1995. Judge Lane serves in the Superior Court's Family Law Division, in which she and 2 of her colleagues hear family law cases exclusively. Prior to her accession to the Supreme Court bench, Judge Lane served as a judge on the City Court of Atlanta, also as an administrative law judge for the Georgia Department of Medical Assistance. Finally, Judge Barbara A. Harris became the first woman appointed to serve as Chief Judge of the Atlanta Municipal Court in June of 1992, and in that position, she oversaw the relocation of the court from the police headquarters to expanded facilities, as well as budgetary and personnel matters. We are truly honored to have with us tonight Judge Barbara A. Harris to help present tonight's awards. Judge Harris, please join me on stage. I would like to also ask GABWA's President, Ajwa, to please come, and GABWA's Foundation President, Jewel, to rejoin me on stage to help present the awards. At this time, we will now honor our 2015 award recipients.
Our first award for the evening will be presented to the Honorable Myra H. Dixon of the State Court of Fulton County. Chief Judge Dixon is this year's recipient of the Leah Award Sears Award for Distinction in the Profession.
The Honorable Myra H. Dixon is a Fulton County State Court judge and has been since 1999 when she was appointed to the bench by then-Governor Roy Barnes. She has been elected unopposed to 4 consecutive terms. As a state court judge, she presides over civil cases and criminal misdemeanors. She currently serves as Chief Judge of the Fulton County State Court and is the second African-American woman to serve in that capacity. Judge Dixon is a graduate of Tennessee State University, where she received her Bachelor of Science degree in Political Science and Education in 1975. She graduated cum laude from Howard University School of Law in 1978.
Well, I had the good fortune of meeting and indeed working with Myra very early in her career. She came to my firm, later became my partner, and we worked hand in hand for many years.
She worked in the United States Attorney's Office for several years. She also served on the other side, working as a compassionate and very effective, zealous defense attorney in the Fulton Public Defender's Office.
We were the first 2 black women who worked for Fulton County Public Defender's Office as public defenders.
Her ascension to Chief Judge is most certainly in keeping with the way that she has conducted her professional career, the reputation that she has earned as a consummate professional, both on the bench and in front of the bench, and beyond that, her commitment to community service.
She's always focused on the betterment of others, and not just us who are in the legal profession, but again, all of the people in our community, especially our children.
She's a mother of 2 children, and she has helped many children also excel and been there for them.
She is being recognized for her commitment to judicial service, for her commitment to excellence, for the professionalism that she displays.
If you call and ask her for help, even if she doesn't know you, if she's able to help you, if it's within her ability to help you, she's going to help you.
When you see her and meet her and get to talk with her, you're surprised at how much she's accomplished in her career. You're surprised to know how distinguished a judge she is and how well respected throughout this community that she is, both for her work on the bench as well as for her work in the community.
Congratulations to Judge Dixon.
I'm extremely proud of you.
Continue to make us proud.
I'm thrilled, I'm honored. I can't think of any better person who this award could be named after, and I'm so humbled to be the person selected to receive that award. And thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, GABWA salutes Chief Judge Myra H. Dixon.
Please join me in congratulating Chief Judge Dixon as she joins the stage.
Good evening. I would like to thank the members of GABWA for bestowing this honor on me to receive the Leah Sears Award for distinction in the profession. My heartfelt gratitude goes out to President Audra Seymour and the co-chairs of this gala, Tanisha Stewart and Montoya McGee Hosang. I truly appreciate all of the hard work that you have invested in putting this gala together and all that you do for GABWA. I am honored to be included in the number of exceptional jurists who have also received this award, and congratulations to the other honorees tonight. I want to thank some special people who made it possible for me to receive this award by providing me with their constant love and support. And when I call your name, if you'll just stand and sit right down. Okay, my mother, who we refer to as Miss Bonnie from Memphis, Tennessee, stand up, Mom. And I don't have much time, so I'm going to call their names and then you all can just clap at the end. Okay, my husband, Pat Dixon. My daughter, Kyra Dixon. Now, my son, Pat Dixon, was here, and I have to tell you the truth about it. He decided that since Jeezy was in town, he had to leave. Okay. My nephew, Finus Hudson. My cousin from Nashville, Gwen Vincent. Our close family friend, Jean Alexander, who drove all the way here from Huntsville, Alabama. And my close friend, Roosevelt Reese from Memphis, Tennessee. My dear friend and godfather of our daughter, Steve Harvey, is here to support me, not the one to be confused with the one on TV and the radio, but he's still fabulous to me, and his wife, Tony. My friend, Mayor Bill Campbell, we've been friends for over 20 years. He appointed me to my first judgeship. Thank you, Bill, for being here. And I have some special sister judges here with me tonight. But first of all, I want all the judges who are here to please stand. Thank you. And of course, I'm going to assume that you all came to support me, so thank you. Okay, I have some special sister judges here tonight that I want to acknowledge. Judges Kimberly Esmond Adams, Stan, Tyranny Gundy, Melanie Leffridge, and Jadania Butler, who I call the baby judge. And I can always count on them to bring strong and persuasive arguments in my support whenever they are in a position to do so. I must acknowledge my extremely talented girlfriend, C.K. Hoffler, Stan C.K., who has been supportive and caring since we met. One last person, well, a couple of more people. My girlfriend from Memphis, Tennessee, from the 9th grade, Bridget Cobb. She came all the way here from Memphis, Tennessee. And as you saw on the tape, one of my mentors is here tonight. That's Louise Hornsby, who was my trial partner in the Fulton County Public Defender's Office. She actually taught me the nuts and bolts of trying major felony cases. Thank you, Louise. And also, as you saw on the tape, I had the great fortune of learning the finer points of civil trial advocacy from the great Tom Sampson. I spent many years as a trial attorney and partner seeking to be a smooth civil trial attorney in the fashion of Tom Sampson. Also, many thanks to attorneys Sam Woodhouse and Chris Chestnut for supporting me in all my endeavors. I am so honored to receive this award tonight. The Daily Report recently celebrated 125 years of service in the legal community, and they did so by featuring in its anniversary booklet several noted jurists and lawyers for their lifetime of achievement. Naturally, Justice Leah Ward Sears was recognized in that booklet. I read with interest the article about Justice Ward Sears, where her many trailblazing achievements were duly noted. However, I was struck by her comment in the article where she observed that it does not seem like anyone remembers how hard it was in 1988 to be the first woman on the Fulton County Superior Court bench, the youngest Superior Court judge in the state, and the only African-American woman in that job in Georgia. Judge Sears, I remember the struggle, and it wasn't easy. That breakthrough occurred during a time when the profession was very much a white, male-dominated field. Leah was unapologetic as she decided to run for her seat. Even in the African American community, the naysayers said she should not run, as perhaps she had not paid her dues. But she apparently knew that her dues had been paid by a much higher power. The naysayers simply did not anticipate that her destiny was seemingly ordained. With that stunning victory, she knocked down barriers and paved the way for others to follow. In the mid-1980s, African American women attorneys were rare, even in court, let alone on the bench. During my tenure at Thomas Kennedy, I represented General Motors Corporation. During a GM court appearance that I had in rural Georgia, I remember the judge kept the litigants waiting for an inordinate amount of time. He finally came out and announced that he was waiting for the lawyers who represented General Motors to get there. When I stood up and announced that I was a lawyer for GM and that we were ready to proceed, he looked totally dumbfounded. He was able to gather himself and put his poker face on in order to proceed with the case, but he had this look of disbelief throughout the proceedings. Justice Leah Ward Sears, I remember the struggle, and it wasn't easy. As Leah stated in the article, there was no script for us to follow. You try to make the best of a bad situation until help comes. The stories are somewhat comical now, but not so much then. Judge Melanie Lethbridge is a witness to our many misadventures we experienced in representing General Motors in jurisdiction throughout Georgia. I remember one other instance. Melanie and I arrived early to court for our hearing. We entered the court and we proceeded to sit down in an area that we thought attorneys should sit in. The bailiff rushed over, frantically indicating that we could not sit there. Melanie and I picked up our belongings and we found other suitable seating. Again, the bailiff indicated that we could not sit there. I then asked him what was the reason that we couldn't sit in any of these seats. He shot back, stating, "This front seating is reserved for lawyers only." I shot back, "We are lawyers." I guess in his mind, we could not possibly be lawyers representing GM. Justice Leah Ward Sears, I remember the struggle, and it wasn't easy. The spirit of this award focuses on breaking down barriers and paving a way for others. Judge Sears has done her fair share in breaking down both racial and gender barriers with courage and intellect. Although there has been tremendous progress made in the areas of discrimination, there's much work to be done by jurists and lawyers. Finally, I want to leave you with the words of our great president, spoken in the eulogy of Reverend Pickney, along with other victims who were massacred in an AME church in Charleston. The Amazing Grace speech has become world famous because of the power it invokes in seeking to eliminate destructive barriers among people. As President Obama eloquently stated, history is an odyssey, a crossing, a relay in which one generation's achievements serve as the paving stones for the next generation's journey. I would like to believe that my achievement today serves as a paving stone for the next generation of attorneys and judges. My hope is that our journey leaves a legacy of commitment to service, dedication to this profession, and development of equality for all. May we always remember the struggle so that we have the courage to continue the fight from generation to generation. Thank you, and may you be blessed in all your efforts to seek justice.
Our second award of the evening will be presented to Ms. Betty Ann C. Hart. Founder and managing partner of Betty Ann C. Hart Attorney at Law, LLC. She is a recipient of the Barbara A. Harris Award for Service to the
Betty Ann Childers Hart is a 1969 graduate of Spelman College, where she began her political career and engagement in public policy as president of Spelman Student Government Association. Betty Ann earned a master's in social work from Boston University and her law degree from the University of Denver College of Law. In 1995, she was appointed Superior Court Judge in the Augusta Judicial Superior Court, making her the first and only African-American woman Superior Court Judge outside the Atlanta metro area. Prior to this appointment, she was elected to 2 terms in the Georgia General Assembly as a State House representative from her native county, representing Southeast Georgia's then 62nd State House District.
I'll never forget it because she was one of the few women that held a law degree and that had practiced as an attorney. Really just a handful, 2 or 3 women in that category. And the very first year on the floor of the House where we served together, she stood up and amended a bill. We threw up her head, and she prevailed. And it was unheard of for a white guy coming in the first year.
In 2010, she retired as a deputy district attorney, a position she held for more than 13 years.
I'm a member of the Board of Governors of the State Bar of Georgia, and I chair the Basics Committee. And Basics is a 10-week prisoner training program for men and women who are within 6 months of release from prison. And she's not only working on Basics, but she has so many other irons in the fire and projects that she's involved in. I don't know what retirement means, but Betty Ann hasn't exactly been kicking back and eating bonbons. She has continued to work with diligence to advance our community.
Her background is so rich as the daughter of parents who were incredible leaders in Burke County, Georgia. So she brought that rich experience from a family of deep faith and community involvement and leadership.
She is currently the chair of the board of the Interfaith Children's Movement, which mobilizes faith communities to advocate for strong child trafficking laws and support programs for teen runaways.
The fact that she is a former district attorney, the fact that she's a former Superior Court judge, state legislator, she's still a practicing attorney. The fact that she knows the law like the back of her hand enhances our ability to do a better job in advocating for children.
People know her and trust her and are very much, I think, convinced by the character of her heart as well as her wisdom as it relates to these matters of the body politic, our social life together, the kind of community that we really want for one another. Those are characteristics that are golden, and I think the Interfaith Children's Movement is very fortunate to have leadership with those characteristics.
To be honored by GABWA, people I admire, my peers, is just, I would say, the epitome of my accomplishments, and I'm so grateful.
Ladies and gentlemen, GABWA salutes Betty Ann Childers Hart.
Good evening. As I said in the video, to be honored by GABWA is perhaps the pinnacle of my success. To be honored by your peers and colleagues is just wonderful. And it's even more wonderful because of the respect that I have for this great organization and how much I respect the work which you do. When I returned to Waynesboro, Georgia in 1990, after being away from the state of Georgia more than 12 years, I established my law practice. And I was somewhat of an anomaly in Southeast Georgia. So I was so encouraged when I received a letter from GABWA's president. I knew that I was not alone as I traveled the roads and went into courthouses that were not so friendly. I was encouraged and I felt a connectiveness. And when I saw that GABWA had become a statewide organization, I was ecstatic. There are so many women attorneys throughout the state who even today need your support, need our support. And I commend GABWA for being truly statewide. To receive this Barbara Harris Community Service Award is especially meaningful. Named for a trailblazer whom I admire, and to be an awardee in the company of all these fabulous women is just wonderful. When I was appointed to the bench by Governor Sel Miller and served the Augusta Judicial Circuit, I was amused because I was often interviewed and asked whether or not I always aspired to be a judge. Of course not. No judges looked like me when I was growing up, and in Burke County, Georgia, I knew no judges. That is why I work as an officer for Advocacy for Action, because African American judges are an endangered species in Fulton County and the state of Georgia. I don't want any other young women growing up and not knowing the role model of women judges. Unfortunately, historically, I still remain the only black woman appointed Superior Court judge outside of the metropolitan Atlanta area. That is not a distinction of which I am proud. So I encourage you as lawyers to join the effort to support diversity on the bench. We must be ever vigilant because the community looks to us to provide leadership in matters concerning justice. In my parents' home, community service was emphasized, and service could not be separated from faith. My faith still defines my service. As Marion Wright Edelman says, service is the rent we pay for being. It is the very purpose of our life and not something we do in our spare time. Because of my mother's influence, she taught school for more than 37 years, and for a couple of years in a segregated Georgia rural community, she taught without pay. I work with the Interfaith Children's Movement to mobilize faith communities to advocate for good public policy for those children who have no vote and no voice in our state houses. We deal with the tough issues: child sex trafficking, juvenile justice reform, immigrant children rights, child welfare reform, children's health care, and school suspension disparities. It is not enough for us to deliver services, although we must. We must work to eliminate the structural problems which give rise to the problems in the first place. Shortly after retirement, Seth Kirchenbaum introduced me to Basics, a bar committee set up in Georgia more than 20 years ago when Chief Justice Earl Warren called upon lawyers to use their skills to help reduce recidivism. I am grateful to Paul Howard, who brought me back to Atlanta under some duress, where I experienced the criminal justice system close up and the tremendous waste in human capital, but even more so, the obstacles that prevent those who have paid their debt to society from having a chance, a second chance. Through this committee, Basics, lawyers have an opportunity to continue to be engaged in addressing one of the most pressing issues of our time. I encourage you brilliant young minds, of whom I am so proud, to use the talents and tools which the legal profession has given you to continue to be involved in the community as leaders, as problem solvers, as public servants. The future of our society, the 21st century, depends on you. I would like to thank GABWA again for this wonderful award and for thinking of me for this beautiful affair tonight. I would like to thank my wonderful daughters who are with me, McCall and Kendria, my friends and my supporters for putting up with my crusades, and I have so many, and participating as I drag them along. And again, thank you, GABWA, for all that you do and for making me feel so special.
Our third award of the evening is being presented to Ms. Tamika Daniel, Supervising Attorney at Macon Regional Office of the Georgia Legal Services Program, and she is this year's recipient of the Bensonetta Tipton Lane Award for Commitment to the Family.
Tamika R. Daniel is a supervising attorney for the Macon Regional Office of Georgia Legal Services Program. Mrs. Daniel is a 1997 honor graduate from Clark Atlanta University and a 2002 graduate from the Walter F. George School of Law at Mercer University. Mrs. Daniel has been practicing with Georgia Legal Services Program since 2002.
Tamika was one of the interns with Georgia Legal Services Program, and I had an opportunity to supervise her. To be honest, she was probably the best summer intern I've ever had the responsibility of supervising.
She's a leader. There's some people that are just born leaders, type A personality, and Tamika is one of those people. She's going to be the one that immediately comes into any given situation, takes control, tells everybody, you know, what needs to happen to get the job done.
Tamika makes sure that she not only does her job, but that it extends. She spends her weekends going across the state of Georgia to speak to teenagers about, you know, healthy dating relationships. She's partnered with other agencies. She goes and does law enforcement trainings, which are very important. And while it is part of her job, I think that she would be well within her rights to say, hey, it's Saturday, I need a day off from this, but she doesn't. She continues to work because she really believes in what she's doing.
I don't think a lot of people can say that they love their job, but I absolutely love the things that I'm able to do, working with low-income people, assisting people who are having problems with domestic violence issues, and being able to speak to young people across the state, because that touches me personally, and I feel like I'm making a difference in the lives of the young people that I speak with.
Tamika has also developed a community social program for ladies called Secrets and Stilettos, where she brings ladies together where they sit down and they talk about domestic violence on a Saturday afternoon in the format of a ladies eating out format, so to speak. This past year, Tamika secured Judge Glenda Hatchett, and the event had over 500 individuals in attendance.
She comes from love. She embodies that, and she demonstrates that to everyone.
It motivates me to want to continue to give back and try to make a difference, because it's a joy to be around folks when you know they have a passion for doing something, and you know it's sincere, and you know it's from their heart.
I would like to thank GABWA sincerely for awarding me this honor. It was completely unexpected, and it truly is an honor to be recognized by an organization as strong and as broad as GABWA. I have learned so much from the women that have been involved in this organization, and I hope that I can continue to be a benefit and to help others along the way.
Ladies and gentlemen, GABWA salutes Tamika R. Daniel.
Good evening. I have no notes. I have no prepared speeches. I will say that I stand before you trembling just a little bit because I am truly humbled. I am passionate about the work that I do with Georgia Legal Services.
I want to say thank you first and foremost to my boss, Ira Foster. He is the reason that I am at Georgia Legal Services. Came in fresh out of law school, and I've been there 13 years. And I can honestly say, not just because he's here, I love my job. I love coming to work and representing people who otherwise have no voice. And I love representing victims of domestic violence. Hopefully one day that issue will be stamped out, but we will continue to labor. All of my coworkers from Georgia Legal Services, they get it. They understand we're in the trenches and we're representing those people who need us the most. Looking out at this audience, I am truly humbled because I'm standing on the shoulders of some of the greatest women to come into this state of Georgia and change things in such phenomenal ways. I can only hope to be half as great as you all have been. I thank GABWA for this opportunity to share with you, for this tremendous honor, and for this fantastic evening. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Give it up for all of the Founders Awards recipients. We're going to move next to our recipients of the 2015 Zenith Awards, but before we do that, I wanted to tell Judge Dixon, is she still here or is she leaving? Has she gone? No, she's there. Okay, so I wanted to tell you that I spoke to your son before he left to go see Jeezy. And he said that because of the type of mother that you are, the role model that you've been, and the legal champion that you have taught him to be, he actually was going to talk to Jeezy about staying out of the legal system. So he thought that was more important than staying for your award. So you can be proud of your son tonight for going to see Jeezy, okay? Absolutely. All right. All right, everybody, it's time for the recipients of the 2015 Zenith Awards. Okay, let's see. And we're going to have Jewel Johnson to start that process.
The first recipient that's being honored for the Zenith Award is honored for her distinction in the profession, and is Dr. Helen D. Gale. Unfortunately, Dr. Gale cannot join us here tonight to celebrate, but she did prepare a video of acceptance. Here to accept the award on her behalf is Dr. Gale's dear friend and assistant, Jerlawanda Davis. And as Ms. Davis makes her way to the stage, please turn your attention to the screens.
Dr. Helene D. Gale is the immediate past president and CEO of CARE USA, a leading international humanitarian organization. An expert on health, global development, and humanitarian issues, she spent 20 years with the Centers for Disease Control, as well as working at the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, directing programs on HIV/AIDS and other global health issues.
I think that she has a natural ability to lead, but also she's driven by how she was raised to give back. Her parents instilled that in her. I've heard her tell the story many times that they basically said that it's important to give back, and I don't think that she would have it any other way.
You know, I think early on I got the bug to become involved in things bigger than myself, and to, in some ways, contribute to broad social change in whatever way I could.
You know, her work has just extended its reach all over the globe, and when I think about her, I really think about how she has used her power and her voice on behalf of the voiceless around the world.
If you looked at her schedule, you looked at her computer calendar and see these 15, 30-minute chunks where she's just doing monumentally important things over and over and over again throughout her day. To go from, say, focusing on CARE's budget, and then 30 minutes later she's at CNN studio talking about Nepal, talking about South Sudan, and being an expert on those things.
Whether she's sitting in a barn in Peru talking to a guinea pig farmer, or with a member of the royal family in the Middle East. She listens to them. She cares about their opinions. She cares about what they have to say. And you really feel that when you talk to her.
Congratulations, Helene. You are a superstar, and this award is so well deserved. And I know that you'll continue to go on and live out this legacy of contribution in your next chapter, but we're profoundly grateful that you have spent nearly a decade extending and expanding the mission of CARE.
When you have your TV show, don't forget about your intern.
Beyond being honored as an individual, I think it, hopefully also honors the kind of work that I've been involved in, both at CARE, at the Centers for Disease Control, and Gates Foundation. I think it honors the mission of social change and social justice. And I think in some ways that's what I'm most proud about in receiving this award. And for that, I really want to thank GABWA.
Ladies and gentlemen, GABWA salutes Dr. Helene D. Gale.
Dear all, Dr. Gale was very honored by receiving this award and was, really sad that she couldn't be here, but it's our honor to be here on her behalf to accept the Zenith Award from GABWA for Dr. Gale, a great woman who has done great things and dedicated her 9+ years to CARE. And we really appreciate GABWA for this wonderful award.
I also wanted to hear from her intern. But Dr. Gale, as we mentioned, could not be here tonight, but we do have a pre-taped acceptance on her behalf that we'd like to play at this moment.
I would really like to express my gratitude to GABWA. I am incredibly sorry not to be able to be here tonight, but it is in the midst of my own transition between jobs, and it became clear that it was not going to be possible to be here. But I really want to say how much I appreciate and am honored by getting this award. I'm honored personally that my individual contributions have been recognized, but even more than that, I am honored that the passion and the mission that I hope that I've exemplified for social change and social justice in the variety of positions I've had during my career, that's also being recognized. And to be recognized by this group of such distinguished women in their own right is a real honor and a real privilege for me. So thank you so much.
Our second recipient of the Zenith Award is an organization that is being honored for its service to the community. The Atlanta Business League seeks to provide economic empowerment and business development opportunities for minorities throughout the metropolitan Atlanta. So please direct your attention to the video screen featuring the Atlanta Business League.
The Atlanta Business League was established in 1933 as an affiliate of the National Business League, which was founded by Dr. Booker T. Washington. His mission? To enhance and expand the business community at large, to encourage civic pride, and to reinvest community money within the community.
Interestingly enough, one of the things that the businesses 100 years ago that were operated by African Americans benefited from is that the vast majority of the spending dollar of our community was spent with them. Today, we spend as a people more than $1 trillion, but we don't spend very much of that in our own community.
Today, the League has caused the development of relationships which has translated into millions of dollars in revenue generated and hundreds of new businesses started.
At the Atlanta Business League, we are trying to grow Black business ownership. We want to take them to where they are, to where they need to be. For those business owners who are established, we work to connect the dots for them, to introduce them to corporations and companies who have opportunities within their firms. The goal is to connect the dots. Again, that's a big term for us and a big action word for us.
It's one of the critical points of success I think that we have at the Atlanta Business League is that we've been able to work very closely with African American women entrepreneurs, not just in the formation of their businesses, but really helping them grow their businesses and refine their business approach. And we've been doing this from day one, and we look forward to continuing that relationship with African American women businesses going forward.
Well, we're very, very fortunate to have a great CEO in Leona Barr Davenport. She is committed and really makes sure that our members stay committed to what it is that we have to get done. I don't know how many hours a day she works or how she can get it all done, but when you look at the accomplishments, and she is tireless in her efforts, that we know that she is always at it. Even if she's on her way home, she's still taking care of business for the Atlanta Business League. And so, we are very fortunate to have her passion and commitment for the success of the Business League, and that makes a big difference for us.
On behalf of the Board of Directors, the Chair-elect, our officers, staff, and members of the Atlanta Business League, I thank you for this Zenith Award. We sometimes work not knowing that people are paying attention, but thank you for looking, thank you for calling our names, and thank you for this recognition.
Ladies and gentlemen, GABWA salutes the Atlanta Business League.
Accepting the award on behalf of the Atlanta Business League is the organization's chair-elect, Mr. Bill Taggart.
Thank you so much. Well, greetings, Madam President, and to your executive board and the Gala Committee who put on this wonderful, wonderful event, and the dedicated membership that comprises the Georgia Association for Black Women Attorneys. Good evening. My name is Bill Taggart. I'm a native of Atlanta, and I serve as the chair-elect for the Atlanta Business League. On behalf of our esteemed president, Leona Davenport, and our board chair, Milton Jones, and the thousands of black businesses that we have supported since our inception in 1933, I am delighted to accept this Zenith Award for service to the community. We are truly honored to receive this award, and it makes it even sweeter to be recognized by an organization that has the clout and the impact as GABWA. We know that your mission is to nurture, support, and galvanize the power of black women attorneys, and in doing so, be a strong advocate for women and children. And in doing so, in those two parts, empowering the communities in which you live. That is very much so aligned to the mission of the Atlanta Business League. For our purpose and mission is all about the growth and the creation and development of successful businesses that are owned and operated and managed by African Americans here in the metropolitan Atlanta area. I must note that many of these businesses from day one back in 1933, were owned and operated by women. And all of these businesses that we have today need the services of good, fine legal counsel that's represented in this room. No indictment on my leadership abilities, but it's always good to have good legal counsel. In fact, ABL would not be able to live up to its mission if it was not for our own legal counsel, Tashwanda Pinchback-Dixon. She has indeed been our legal eagle, and we thank her for her faithful service to Atlanta Business League. So thanks again for this wonderful award. It means a lot to us, and we greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Our final award of the evening was created just last year to honor an individual in the community who has had an impact on the political landscape of individuals who have been historically underserved, such as minorities and children. This year, the Zenith Award for Political Action is being presented to Janice Mathis, Vice President of the Citizenship Education Fund.
Janice L. Mathis, Esquire, is the Vice President for the Rainbow Push Coalition. Attorney Mathis has negotiated diversity and inclusion agreements with Fortune 500 companies, including Toyota, Nationwide, John Deere, Cooper Tire, and General Motors. The Toyota discussions resulted in an unprecedented $7.8 billion diversity initiative. She earned Bachelor's of Arts in both Economics and Public Policy Studies at Duke University in only 3 years. She studied British politics and history at Oxford University in England and finished law school at UGA.
Janice Mathis is the smartest attorney I have ever met, and I've met thousands of them. She's smart and she has a social consciousness that's like no other. She makes all of us as women proud, but just as an attorney, she makes us proud.
Because she works for the Rainbow Push Coalition, she is very passionate about these social justice issues and civil rights issues, especially the voting rights. Janice is a very astute attorney, and I think one of the things, her upbringing, she was in a very Christian home. Her mother and her father were both teachers, and she brings that with her.
Janice Mathis hosts a radio program. She knows thousands of people internationally and nationally, but she's very unassuming. She doesn't have to go around touting herself and telling you who she is. She's just that kind of force.
She's always going to look at things from every perspective. She's going to go in and ask the right questions. She's going to be very thoughtful, and sometimes she's often very quiet, but quiet in a very strategic way.
Janice is one that reminds me of a verse in the Bible that says, knowledge is good, therefore get knowledge, but with all thy getting, get understanding. She's book smart, she's an attorney, she's accomplished, but what she has that the majority of people don't have is the understanding.
Over my life, the things that have given me the most satisfaction are the things that I did for others and the things I did for my community. I've been in a position sometimes to get some good-sized checks, and I've won some fairly significant legal victories, but the ones that matter the most are the ones that didn't have anything to do with Janice. I want my GABWA sisters to know that I was a founding member of GABWA many years ago, so it is especially gratifying to be recipient of this honor from the Georgia Association of Black Women Attorneys.
Ladies and gentlemen, GABWA salutes Attorney Janice L. Mathis.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. There's nothing like batting cleanup because it's all been said. But I must say to the officers and directors and committee chairs of GABWA, this is special. There is a trophy case full of glass at the house, but this will be one that I will cherish forever because it comes from my peers. I was sitting in my seat and I could not help but think about in the 70s, ladies, when I was in law school, there was a plaque at Georgia that read, "This law school is built and dedicated to the proposition that no Georgian should have to leave his state to receive a superior legal education." I looked at it every day as I passed through the courtyard, and I thought about my grandmother, who was a washerwoman, and I thought about my mother, who had the tenacity and the gall to register to vote in Greenville, South Carolina in 1948 when African Americans had not voted in 75 years. It was so unusual that they took her picture and put it in the newspaper because this colored girl from A&T had registered to vote. And then in 1960, my daddy was a Methodist minister, and he had some qualms about a Catholic president. But Mama took us out to hand out leaflets for Jack Kennedy because a woman has a right to her own political opinions. And as much as she loves her husband, she doesn't have to be bound by that. And so, with me here tonight, and I promised I wouldn't tell all of her story, but is my cousin Ann Cooper, who Mama helped to raise. And what I remember about Ann was packing to go to South Carolina State University. And I remember my grandmother's concern when Ann kept getting arrested in Orangeburg. Ann, we didn't send you down there to get arrested. We sent you down there to get an education. Please go to class. But Ann just kept on getting arrested because she was part of the student nonviolent sit-in movement. So I'm grateful to her for that example. When I think about your theme, the 20s, the roaring 20s, but what preceded the 20s and what made it possible? Our beloved sororities were founded in the teens. The NAACP was founded, 1909? I think about the Harlem Renaissance, and I think about Langston Hughes, and I think about I Too Sing America. Don't put me in the kitchen when company comes. And that was sort of what we grew up thinking, that we were the talented 10, and those to whom much is given, much is required. And so I am full of joy and happiness tonight. And the only thing I would say to you, when they look at us 100 years from now, how do we want that story to be written? We look back at the 20s and the teens as people who took our folk to a place for which our fathers sighed, in the words of the great anthem. But what will they say about our generation? You're the real housewives. The people in this room are the people who run Atlanta for real. And we have a responsibility. And I am so grateful to you and to GABWA for recognizing our meager achievements, encouraging us to go forward, and for all the time and energy that you have put into making our community better and fairer and more just. And if you'll pardon the expression, keep hope alive.
I want to say a special big love to my soror, Janice Mathis, who was on 1380 WAOK at the same time that I had the Mo Ivory show many years back. And Janice and her sister used to have a show called Sister-in-Law. And they would give out legal advice, and that would come on in the morning, and then my show would come after it. And so I would always try to start my show, but the phone would still be ringing. And I would say, clear the calls. And they would clear the calls, and then it would light back up again, the whole bank of calls. And so I would take the calls, and the calls would always say, is Janice still there? And I would say, well, no, they'll be back tomorrow for more legal advice, but it's the Mo Ivory show now. And they would say, well, could we talk to Janice? Because we have a legal question that we want to ask Janice. And I go, oh, I'm a lawyer too. And they go, can we talk to Janice? So we became very good friends because I would have to tell her all these phone numbers that she needed to call back every day. But I love her dearly, and as a talk show host, she taught me so much when I first came to WAOK, so I really love her, and I thank her for that guidance. So we're going to move on. As we've seen and heard, this year's awards recipients are truly outstanding individuals and from outstanding organizations. In honoring them, GABWA is privileged to recognize each of them for the incredible impact that they have and profound difference they have made in their communities. At this time, the GABWA Foundation would like to take this opportunity to give you a glimpse of why it does the work that it does. The reason why we have asked each of you to partner, donate, and support the GABWA Glitter Gala and Auction. After a brief presentation, Natasha Banks, who is a 2014 scholarship recipient, and Shakiria Merriweather, a sister-to-sister mentee, will come up to the stage. So please look to the video screen.
The Georgia Association of Black Women Attorneys Foundation Incorporated, or GABWA Foundation, is a 501c3 organization that was founded in May of 1983 to facilitate GABWA's charitable and educational activities.
30 years ago, when I was the president of GABWA, one of the things that we started during my term was the GABWA Foundation. And I recall that we wanted to be able to have a greater impact on the community that we were serving, which was primarily female lawyers and women and children in the community.
As a result of the GABWA Foundation, we do that on a daily basis through our programs such as Sister to Sister. It is a mentoring project where we mentor young ladies who are referred to the program from the juvenile court system. Also through our scholarships, we provide scholarships to African American women who attend Georgia law schools, and sometimes those scholarships really make a difference with respect to whether those women graduate or not. And so we are investing in our youth, in our community, and we also provide wills to individuals who suffer from terminal illnesses and give them that service, which is a great benefit because we're providing legal services that these individuals otherwise would not be able to afford.
I was a little bit afraid because sometimes it's hard to get volunteers going, but Martha Feynman and John Warshaw over at Legal Aid said, don't worry, we'll offer CLE. And so we sent out the request and the GABWA sisters responded en masse. And we had so many people we had to go back and get chairs 3 times. The room was packed. And we met at Jerusalem House, had the training. It was a half day. And we started off with just 5 cases. And all 5 of those were taken immediately. Sent out another email for another 5. Those were taken out immediately as well. And the program just continued and it grew from there.
It's just my prayer that we would continue to do this work. The clients appreciate us so much. It is more than you could ever be paid in money, just the appreciation that you get from the individuals because you've really helped them and you've given them peace of mind.
The Sister to Sister Mentoring Program was created in 2000. It is a partnership between GABWA and the Fulton County Juvenile Court System.
At that time, and I think still, women and girls were the fastest growing prison population in Georgia, and so Judge Hickson really wanted to address that, and she asked me to help her found Sister to Sister, which I did.
We have 3 ladies from GABWA here with us today. We mentor young ladies that are between the ages of 13 to 17 that are on probation with the Fulton County Juvenile Court. Primarily our young ladies have been, they're at risk for truancy, early sexual activity, some minor petty theft offenses, things like that. And so we work with them to help them to develop higher self-esteem, and through that higher self-esteem achieve success in school, achieve success as far as finding jobs, and to just develop a better overall disposition.
The biggest lesson I learned was actually having a positive attitude all the time and knowing people when, you know, just stop what I was doing from before I got here. They taught me a lot of things. Like I say, I have changed a lot and I actually thank them for that. So sometimes I get teared up just thinking about them. I'm also going to college right now, and they still helping me. I also lost my father in August, and they was there with me. And I'm actually thinking about coming back to be a mentor myself.
I was the founding executive director, and there have been others that have followed me who have done a wonderful job and just taken it to a whole different level and done wonderful things. The program has won national awards from the National Association of Women Lawyers, and so it's a phenomenal program.
I love you all, and thank you so much.
So I applied for the scholarship. I was praying and praying hard because the amount owed on my tuition was just under the amount awarded for the scholarship. GABWA awarded me that scholarship. I was so fortunate. I cried some more because whoever gave to that scholarship believed in me.
The GABWA Scholarship was established in 1983. That was actually the primary focus of the foundation at that time when the foundation was first created. And so we provide scholarships to African American women who attend Georgia law schools. To date, we've given over $200,000 in scholarships to numerous young ladies, many of them who are GABWA members and practicing attorneys. Even our incoming GABWA president, Tracy Benzo, was a GABWA scholarship recipient.
I was introduced to GABWA through my professor, Professor Aberita Hansen, and everyone in GABWA knows her as Mama Rita. She is the most loving, compassionate person, and she told me, she said, Tracy, apply for that scholarship. Just apply, you'll be taken care of. And I knew from that point on that when I met the Sisters of GABWA, that whatever I wanted to do, wherever I wanted to go, I had the support system that I needed.
It is important to support this foundation because GABWA gives to the student who may not be financially able to go on throughout their day, to go on throughout their school year. Like myself, I go to Emory Law School, $45,000 a year. And if it wasn't for GABWA giving to me, I'm not sure if I would have made it, but I'm grateful and I am thankful.
I just want to say a heartfelt thank you to our volunteers over the years who have been mentors and sister to sister over the last 13 years that Sister to Sister has been implemented, that there's been countless number of mentors who've given up to 8 hours a month of their time. I want to say thank you to anyone who has donated to the GABWA Scholarship Program or to our endowment fund. I didn't mention earlier, we have an endowment fund that was created in 2003. And the endowment fund is what we hope to be a sustaining vehicle for our scholarships. And so we want to raise our endowment to $300,000 so that our scholarship program can be self-sustaining. And so we ask that you donate to that as well. But for all of those who have donated to date, thank you so much. We could not continue to do the wonderful work of the foundation without you.
Please welcome to the stage Natasha Banks, a 2014 scholarship recipient, and Shakira Mayweather, a Sister to Sister mentee.
Good evening. It is my pleasure to be standing in front of such a tremendous crowd of inspiring people. I one day hope to be as inspiring and successful as you are. Being a part of the Sister to Sister mentoring group over the past 4 years has helped me on my journey. It has helped shape and mold me into the young lady that I am today. Having a group of women to inspire me, push me to become better in life, and support me has shown me that there is more to life than Atlanta. During the Sister to Sister program, we have various topics on different days that help us prepare for life. Our mentors also are there to help us with school or personal advice and problems. They even go the extra mile to make sure that we have everything that we need, and I thank them for that. My journey with Sister to Sister started in 2012, and ever since then, I've been hooked. Sister to Sister is not only a mentoring group, it's a sisterhood where we can come, take off our masks that we live with on in everyday life and be ourselves. We can express ourselves and grow as women in general. I would like to thank all of our mentors, parents, volunteers, GABWA members, and many others who influence us to do better in each and every day. Before I finish, I would like for everyone to remember this quote: work for a cause, not for applause. Live to express, not to impress. Thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful evening.
Good evening, GABWA. My name is Natasha Sarah Lorraine Banks, and I'm a 2014 GABWA Foundation Scholarship recipient. Currently, I'm entering my 3rd year at Mercer University Law School. Very happy about that. To say that it was an honor to be named a Foundation Scholar for the Georgia Association of Black Women Attorneys is an understatement. As you may know, many young minority law students respect, revere, and admire GABWA and the GABWA Foundation. Every year, the impact that GABWA imparts on the individual lives of the law student community spans beyond professional growth. GABWA challenges me and my fellow law school colleagues to be better women and men so that one day we can positively protect, impact, and serve our communities. GABWA also provides economical support through the Foundation Scholarship. The Foundation Scholarship helps law students in a number of ways. It assists in alleviating some of the financial burden of school tuition and costs. For some, it has paved the way for bar preparatory courses. It has also funded some law students' costs in registering for the bar exam. The list goes on and on. Personally, the GABWA Foundation Scholarship helped me in paying for school books, tuition, and living expenses. Without the scholarship, I would have been or could have been delayed in purchasing my books for the spring semester, which would have affected my ability to get a jump start on my schoolwork. It also helped me with living expenses during the winter break between the fall and spring semester. For all my law school colleagues out there, you know that towards the end of the semester, the financial aid living expenses runs a little low. So for me to have the extra funds to help carry me over between the semesters was right on time. Needless to say, the scholarship was such a blessing to me and made a huge financial difference. Not only did this scholarship give me financial support, it benefited me professionally. Being affiliated with such a prominent organization as GABWA did not go unnoticed by employers. While interviewing for subsequent scholarships and employment opportunities, having the phrase GABWA Foundation Scholarship recipient on my resume was well received and a topic of discussion. My association as a recipient also connected me with fellow GABWA Scholarship Award winners, which is for me a privileged association. Each of us demonstrates strong leadership and professionalism within our respective law school communities. And it was a true honor to be amongst such accomplished young ladies. By giving to the GABWA Foundation Scholarship, you serve generations. You ask why? Well, when you give, you will help a student as they take steps towards achieving their goal of becoming a lawyer. You see, for some of us, we are the first lawyers in our family. We may have grown up in households where our parents were not even afforded the opportunity to go to college at all. Some of us worked after college, quit our careers to pursue what was always thought of as a dream. So your donation, your gift, your blessing paves the way for someone to make this dream of becoming a lawyer possible. In turn, that student graduates from law school, becomes a lawyer, and because someone blessed him or her, he or she will bless another student along the way. And then it spirals into a domino effect of generations and generations of lawyers serving, educating, and inspiring our communities. What a wonder giving will do. And as Althea Gibson said, no matter what accomplishments you make, somebody helped you. Think about it. How did you get where you are today? Somebody, somewhere along the way, saw more in you than what you saw in yourself, stretched out their hand and offered help. So today, I encourage you on behalf of my fellow law school colleagues, on behalf of all the young aspiring lawyers, on behalf of all those who were unable to fulfill their dreams of law, on behalf of our communities in dire need of diverse legal professionals, on behalf of the GABWA Foundation Scholarship and GABWA herself, to give what you can, invest in our desires to be you one day, and give graciously to generations to come. On each table, you will find envelopes that you can use to give or pledge your donation to the GABWA Foundation. Your kind donation will help support the foundation to continue making strides in the community through Sister to Sister and the Foundation Scholarship, as it is in part GABWA's mission to empower our communities. And President Adjwagarte Tego Seymour has commissioned each of us to grow stronger in our passion, purpose, and power. It is my belief that your gift will help us further our mission and President Seymour's commission. Thank you.
As the evening begins to wind down, I first want to say thank you all for staying and not leaving early, because when people start walking out, everybody up here talking to the crowd thinks, am I boring, or do people not want to listen, or those kind of things. So I thank you for keeping the room crowded and not leaving early as we continue this most important event. So we are now going to ask the gala chairs, Ms. McGee and Ms. Stewart, to come to the stage for the special acknowledgments.
Hello, once again, no worries. I will not take a long time. I know you all are eager to get out there to our speakeasy and to find that password for, our special treat. But Tanisha and myself did want to give some special thanks to our gala committee who helped put on this wonderful event. Without them, we could not have done it. So I do want to say thank you. And we would like to have Miss Ivory and also past President Sonia Natasha Brown come to the stage. Oh, okay. Well, here's a small, oh. Here is a small token of appreciation for appearing on our program. We really appreciate it, and thank you for your service to GABWA. You look like a pageant, right? And next, if we can have Madam President Adjwagarte to get, oh, I'm messing it all up, I'm sorry. Madam President Adjwa Seymour come to the stage, and also, yeah. And if we can also have the GABWA Foundation President, Jewel Johnson, come to the stage as well. We truly want to thank you two ladies for your leadership and for your support throughout this process. If it were not for you, this event would not be what it is today. So we say thank you.
Okay, we're at the end of the program. I sort of giggled when Mo said, okay, you all need to quiet down. They need to close down the bar.
I'm sorry, we have a special announcement for our gala auction.
Oh, that's right. So some of you have been waiting to hear who won some of these auction items, right? I know that there was some fights over the President Obama autograph picture, the Muhammad Ali picture. Oh, I've heard the conversations. And I'm wondering who got the Passion, Purpose, and Power portrait. So before we close out, we're going to have our auction co-chair, Miss Lindasha, come to the stage and let us know who won.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Lindasha Jameson, and I'm this year's auction co-chair. Thank you for supporting the auction tonight. Your contributions are greatly appreciated. You've heard all of the reasons why. With that said, I will be announcing the auction winners. If I mispronounce your name, please charge it to my mind and my strong Southern South Carolina accent, and not my heart. And if I call your name more than once, that means you won more than one item. So without further ado, I'll just read out the names, and aside from some of the big items, you guys can just head outside to the front and we will let you know what it is that you won specifically. Tracy Benzo, Tangela Berry, Carl C. Greer, Nora Polk, Jeffrey Cooper, Stephen Hewitt, Patrice Perkins Hooker, Ty Lord, Daniel Abora, Nathan Blewett, Sam Matchett, E. Jones, C.K. Hoffler, Paula Frederick, Alfonso Cross, Lisa Collins, Paula Frederick, Nora Polk, Tori Silas, Nathan Blewett, Crystal Cook, Shaniqua Singleton, Tori Silas, Katrina Quicker, Don Jones, Sherry Osegal, Charlotte Radu, Louise Hornsby, Tori Silas, Paula Frederick, A.E. Cooper, Brenda Raspberry, Terica Gansey, Natalie Williams, Rhea Greathouse, Nathan Blewett, Crystal Cook, Roxanne Douglas, Jamesia Smith, and the custom GABWA artwork was the main item for tonight, and Judge Jadanya Butler won that item. Abina Garte Tago, Erica Taylor, Tori Silas, Seth Kirschenbaum, Erica Taylor, Charlotte Combry, Ahmad Lightfoot, Vicky Pollard, Barry, Nora Polk, and Harriet Abu Bakur. Those are the winners for tonight's auction.
I heard a couple of those names a few times, so special thank you to those individuals. I want to give a special thank you for Adwoa and for her vision for this event and this evening. When we met almost a year ago, I think, to start planning this event, Adwoa had this idea of all these themes, and I'm old, so I'm like, we don't need a theme. It's the gala. And she said, no, we need a theme. And it has come together wonderfully, and to see the manifestation of her vision is amazing. You all look wonderful. I applaud our gala and auction co-chairs for all the work they've done. It's been a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous event. And so just thank you, and thank you, Adwoa, for your leadership. And Miss Ivory, I have to tell you that among my bestest friends is the Panhellenic Council. And so at my table, we were debating, when you said earlier that you had some sorors out in the audience, exactly what that meant. And so I have a Zeta and a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha, and I am a Delta. And so it was the thought was that because you had on a green dress, you must have been a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha. But I did not believe that to be true. And so I have to say, soror, that I am so happy to have you here and to be
Oh my goodness. You can tell we're ready to have some fun tonight.
Deltas wear green really well as well.
Okay, they can take it outside to the speakeasy, all right? They can take it outside to the speakeasy. I'm telling you, I giggled when she was trying to get the crowd to quiet down, because one of the things I said when we started planning this gala is that people come to the gala to talk, to have fun, to reconnect. I mean, that's really what we know you all come here for, to see each other all dressed up. We work so hard as lawyers and as business people, and we wanted you all to come and just have a great time while we honor some fabulous individuals, and we also recognize the spirit of why we're here today. And so, when we exit out, we're going to exit out into our new Speakeasy Lounge, where you all can sit and listen to live jazz and a vocalist and just have fun. There's a donut station. There's places to sit, Judge Harris. We took, I heard folks on that auction list that I hadn't had a chance to see yet. Mr. Blewett, my client, where are you? Can't wait to see you. And thank you for supporting our gala tonight. I heard your name 3 times. So, yes, let's go out and have some fun. And with that, good night, God bless, and thank you.